Let me bring Elizabeth on stage. Elizabeth is in a healing process. Healing is a journey. But even at the initial stages of her healing, she's strong enough to reflect on her past experiences and hopefully wish that someone else can be able to learn one or two things from her mistakes and from the unfortunate things that perhaps befell her, some not because of her anything that she could do. Her story is also on our platform. She shared, I think, 2 months or so ago. Yes, 2 months ago. 2 months ago. Maybe just for the sake of those who have not had a chance to listen to your story, help us get the gist of what your journey has been. And from the time you shared, it's not been long, it's just 2 months. What's the difference?
Yes. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon again. What you can see in front of you is the beauty of breaking the silence. This is the beauty of breaking the silence. Mine is coming from a bad marriage that I got into 11 years ago. 11 years of marriage, I have been suffering abuse, domestic abuse, in the hands of a man that I fell in love with when I was in college at the Catholic University. And when I got into this marriage, everything went astray when I started getting babies. When I met this man, at the beginning, I was swept off the feet because this man was very handsome. And as a young girl, obviously, these are some of the things that are going to be driving you. So I fell in love because for me, it was very sincere and I had no hidden agenda about anything. And then when I met this man, at the beginning, there was a kind of stalking. This man was following me because the first sight I encountered with him is he got in a bus, a city hopper, and went with me to a destination that he didn't even know where I was going to. At that point where he wants to get my number and all that, I didn't give the number. After that, he stalks me around the school gate, the hostel gate for the next 6 months, asking for this number. 6 months of following me around. And when it happened that I gave in to his plea about the number and the communication and all that, the relationship started, and on and off, I didn't notice anything weird because I had no information about abuse. I was very fresh and very plain about red flags. As today in the modern days we are talking about red flags, I missed so many of those. And by 7 years of dating, this is a man I dated for 7 years. There was no baby yet. And when I got pregnant after 7 years with my first baby, physical abuse started one night. And when this physical abuse started, I remember it was so chilly and rainy outside. I remember I was so cold and I was asking for my husband for a cuddle. Cuddle me so that we can sleep. I am so chilly. And he reacted towards that in a way that it became so abusive, a full-blown physical abuse. In that same night, I never slept, we never slept. I even got raped that night. He broke glasses in the house, and he was swearing about how I will know who he is and he's gonna feed me with some glass that he had crushed over that night. That is the first time I saw him being physically abusive towards me. And that was after 7 years. When that happened, the following morning, and remember I was 3 months pregnant, I went to the doctors. And when I was at the doctor's place, I felt like I don't want to keep this baby. I want an abortion. Then the doctor will talk you into keeping the baby. You know, we can do 1, 2, 3 talk. And I ended up keeping the baby. The man manipulated me into, keeping quiet about it. He took me out for dinner in a 5-star hotel. And the way he reacted, I never knew I was being manipulated. Actually, I felt loved again, and I kept quiet. After taking me to a 5-star dinner, how could I have reversed the 7 years? So from there, about the 6 years that followed, I encountered a lot of physical physical abuse, emotional, mental. And from where I'm coming from, I had no idea that you can be in a house with someone who you call your husband, the father of your children, and I didn't even imagine he can do some of these things. And these things happened to me over about 5 years. I was there thinking, anytime he beats me, I would think, maybe he's stressed today from work, tomorrow he's gonna be fine. Anytime he abuses me, he insults me, anytime he does something bad, I would say, people don't want this marriage to work. People are saying bad things about my husband. I would go on my knees and pray for him. And then tomorrow and the day after tomorrow, and it kept on escalating and getting worse. Situations whereby I wouldn't even sleep in the house. I would sleep in the house when he's in a good mood. Most of the times I slept outside with my kids. I would even find myself leaving the balcony door open. In case he starts a fight, I'm gonna jump. I can jump from here up to there and I'm gonna run away. So those are the things I was doing. At the same time I used to leave. I would run away when I am so badly beaten. I would go to my mother's place. He would come and get me. I would run, go to my friends' places. He would get there was a come and get me. And I kept on going and coming back. And these years were so painful for me. And especially this time when I had the children. I got pregnant with the second baby in the process. And now I had 2 babies. And there is this time when he beats me with a baseball bat. Those who know what a baseball bat is and what it is meant for. This man beat me with a baseball bat when I was 8 months pregnant. And my baby got an injury when in the womb. That baby came out with a crack on the head. So when I was taken to the hospital, the baby gets treated, and there was even a bill that was being paid for this baby's physiotherapy, 720,000. This man didn't even have that money. He didn't even pay a dime. Someone helped me with that, who is my sister. She paid that bill, and when I recovered and the baby recovered, he comes home with the wazee again, and he says, I am very sorry. It's the work of the devil. It will not repeat itself again. And I followed him back to my marriage. So, all this time, this is a mother I am a mother of 2 little boys. I have a 5-year-old and a 4-year-old, and they're so close together. Actually, they're like twins. So I am struggling to make sure that these children belong. This is a mother in a struggle to make sure that these children get to be raised by a father and a mother. And when in this struggle, I go back. So it comes to a point whereby he gets worse. One time I get in an argument about water, and there is this morning that we wake up in the morning and I'm trying to call him to order to stop beating me up. The children are seeing the violence. And he just starts the fight again. He is strangulating me with his hands in a room. And we get into that fight. I am fighting with his hands for the next 30 minutes. His hand doesn't work to strangle me. He picks a metal bar from an exercising machine, and he puts that on my neck. This man is so big, these tall ones, and the big ones. He strangled me that morning. And I remember fighting, and my children are in the other room. So I got out of that, I can say it was a narrow escape. So this is a man that I met and I fell in love with, and he blackmailed me, he lied to me, he prophesied to me false love, and he manipulated me through 11 years of being together with him. And when I am getting out of it, it's by good luck. I met just moments with Justus when I was so broken. When I met Justus, I was a river of sadness and sorrow. Those times, when you don't even know, it's like a highway, you don't know which way to take, because I didn't have a job, I don't have anything on myself. The family has disowned me, I don't have friends. By the time this man is finishing with me, I just escaped death in his hands, so there is nothing in my life. And when I met Justus moments, I sat there and told the story and cried, and some doors of, hope opened up. Today, I can stand here and smile. I can attend an event like this and testify that there is a very good job going on with platforms like this. Justus Moments is doing great. A lot of great work is coming from this platform. The fact that I can just get on that seat and cry, and someone who does not know me can listen, it's a great thing, and I'm so grateful and I'm so fortunate that I met Justus Moments. I don't want to cry because it is after Justus Moments that I can think. You know, when I met him, I couldn't think. I wasn't even able to, memory. I was losing memory. I was hurting. Things were just paining. But today I can smile. Today I can smile. I can think. I can even talk. Today, it's because of Justus Moments. Let's break the silence.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. And yeah, it's a process. There's so much already happening at the background of things. And one of the things I'm very passionate about is to work with people, because this transformation is not a one-off engagement where you only bring someone to sit here and tell a story and assume that everything will fall in place. So we've been very intentional, even in linking her up with a therapist, so that this thing is sustainable and she can be able to fall back in place, because there's so much life ahead of herself. And she was overwhelmed by the violence and the chaos around her life that she forgot that she has a life. But we thank God for the process so far, and we wish you all the best. God bless you. And asante sana, Madam Leshao. Mungu awabariki sana. Oh, sorry, there's a question here.
That one is Nigerian somewhere.
Oh, okay.
I remember I was hospitalized at the Nairobi Women's Hospital in Ongata Rongai. That is where I was taken to after the injuries of strangulation and all that. The medics there, they will do their job. They led me to taking the P3 thing and all that. And I was in so much pain. And I went to report this case. And I'm sorry to say I was at the police station queues, and I felt like there are other men that are coming here. This one has murdered the wife. This one has murdered the child. And I told myself, I am still alive. Why don't I just go and pick up the pieces? When I was standing there, I couldn't even talk because of the strangulation. So I said, I am still breathing. God has a reason why I got that narrow escape. So for me, I just called it off, and I pray for him, actually. I asked God to change him for the sake of the others who might encounter him in future.